This video is brought to you by YTAndrewPaul Tech Repairs. If you have a console, laptop, computer or Macbook in need of repair in the UK or the EU, then have a look in the description below this video for details on how to contact us in order to organise your repair. Right, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's video. And today we've got something rather exciting. Today I'm going to be unboxing a new toy that I have bought for myself. Indeed, this is going to be an unboxing of our new JBC soldering iron setup. Yes, I've actually finally taken the plunge and realised an ambition. I always actually, wanted a JBC soldering iron because they are, albeit very expensive, they are, quite frankly, the Rolls Royce of soldering equipment. So eventually I plan to upgrade all my kit to JBC stuff. So today's the first step of that. And of course, for those of you who follow the channel will know, I officially opened my services up to everybody last May. I'm nearly at the end of the first year of trading, and it's gone really well. A little bit of money set aside to invest in some new equipment, and this is the first part of that. So as a treat to myself for having a good first year, we've got some new equipment in the lab, hopefully. So today we're going to go and unbox it. And essentially what we've got today is a JBC DDE-2B, which is a 2-tool control unit. We'll go through that in a sec. We also have a T245-A general purpose soldering iron handle. We've got an Esd stand for the iron, and we've also got an Esd tip cleaner, and along with a couple of tips that we can use for doing our bidding on the PlayStations and the Macbooks and everything else. So you're going to be seeing a lot of this tool in use, and of course in a few weeks time, once I've got to grips with it and I've learned how it behaves and it responds and whether I like it or not, we'll do a follow-up video on just how good we think it is. So yeah, so let's go through the first bits and pieces then. So what do we actually have? Well, as I say, we have the DDE-2B 2-tool control unit. I presume that's what's in the big box. We have a couple of tips. The tips are fairly expensive, but what can you do? So the first one there, if the camera will focus on it, will it focus on it? There we go. Is a C245-069. It's actually a, is this a wider one? Yeah, this is actually a fairly big shovel tip for cleaning up BGAs and sort of like large areas of your board and things like that. This one is a finer tip iron tip. This is a C245-957. So yeah, those two are very nice, and when we're talking about quality about JBC, I mean even the tool handlers, even the storage containers, are like really good quality. Really thick plastic. There's nothing going to happen to those in there. That's sort of what you're paying for. Obviously, we have the T245-A. This is the general purpose handle. We have the this thing here, which is the CL8499 Esd tip cleaner, the ADSD stand over there, and of course, like I said, the DDE-2B control unit over there. So I don't know, we're going to start with, we'll not start with the big kahuna just yet, because that would obviously spoil it. Everybody wants to see that, don't they? So we'll start down here. We'll start with this small box. We'll just get you properly in position so you can see what the hell's going on here. I'll get you a little bit closer so that I can actually get my hands around the box. So this is it here. This is the CL8499 Esd tip cleaner. So essentially it's, it's quite a nice little thing. This allows you to clean your tools off after you've done using it. It's a little bit like its own little standalone unit, so it's not quite just a tray and a sponge, but it's quite nice. It was fairly expensive. In fact, I can't remember. Well, to be honest, it's not. When I say it's expensive, JBC kit in general is very expensive. In fact, what I will do is I will dig out the invoice. It's over here somewhere, and I will tell you exactly how much it was. In total, this little bundle here that we've got today, including the VAT, came to £853.20 in the UK. The VAT itself was £142.20, which means the total net was £711. So we've got the Esd-Safe Tip Cleaner out in front of us here. This equipment came from a UK supplier called Kaiser Tech. I highly recommend Kaiser Tech. They've been brilliant throughout the ordering process. They've got a really nice website, a great selection of tools to choose from. Well, they're an official JBC supplier, so of course, you expect the best from the best, don't you? And indeed, Kaisertech do live up to that. So highly recommend them. The link is in the description below. As you can see there, it's also kaisertech.co.uk. So I highly recommend those guys if you're looking in the UK to buy your JBC equipment. So this little CL8499 stand here is 50 quid, so that makes it 60 quid with a VAT on at 20%. So let's go and take a look. So let's see if we can work out how to get in here. So it just opens up there, lovely jubbly, and then peels back. We have a little instruction manual just here with the Esd Tip Cleaner. There's a little picture on the front. I don't really know why you need an instruction manual for a tip cleaner, but there we go. Oh, very nice. So let's have a look. Let's move you back a little bit. You can see what we're going. So we've got the packing list there. So we should have the unit itself, the sponge, and the manual. Well, of course, we do have the manual. Looks like it's got a little brass wool element inside there, splash guard, which is always cool, so you don't end up with crap all over your desk. The membrane as well, because I mean, I've just cleaned this desk off today actually before I started filming the video. It was absolutely covered in solder splashes, so hopefully that'll cut down on that. And the manual itself just looks like it's telling you how to replace the various components of the station, so the wool, the metal brush, tip wiper. So it seems pretty cool. So let's go and have a look at the actual thing itself. Let's see what we've got in here. So we have a little packet, which has a sponge in there. Keep wet with distilled water, of course. So there we go, nice little packet there with the sponge in. I do have some distilled water over yonder, which is for our new ultrasonic cleaner, which I've not shown you yet. It's behind me, it's on the desk. I've not used it in anger. It's not even got any water in it yet. It's been sat there for a good couple of weeks. But yeah, we'll go through that on another video shortly. But dearie me, they wrap it up well, I'll give them that. So yeah, that's really not wow. The one thing I will say initially, for those of you who've never used JBC stuff before, and I'll be honest, I've had a little dabble with one with a guy I used to work with, but you know, the quality of this stuff is fantastic. I mean, you know, it's not plastic, it's actually really sort of heavy duty grade metal, so you can hear there it's like cast iron by the sounds of it, something like that. It's really, really heavy. This is really heavy. It's tiny. I mean, if you look at my hand, it's smaller than my hand is. However, you know, it weighs quite a bit. I mean, that's got some heft to it. So, you know, when you're poking your soldering iron in through there and everything else, that's not going to move anywhere. That's fantastic. So it does have a little bit of wire wool in there. I think you can probably just about see it. I presume that unlocks it, does it? Yeah, you can see there, look underneath, a big ball of wire wool. It's quite nice, so you can take it out and clean it and replace the sponge as and when you need to. That's pretty cool. Sponge will go in there, so let's just open that. We'll open that packet while we're here. If I've got some scissors to hand, that would be really useful, but I don't think I do. Yeah, we're in. So, sponge just lays in the base of there, does it? Take it off camera. Just pushes in the bottom. Okay, so lovely jubbly. Chuck some water on that before too long. Oh, you're supposed to cut it. Okay, you're supposed to cut it down to size. Okay, well, we'll do that then. We will do that. We'll just pick this back out. RTFM, Andrew, RTFM. So we'll just leave it stood up there for now then. A little instruction sheet and the in with the sponge just say to cut it down to size, which is probably okay. I'm going to have to go find my scissors then. But so that's the stand. Or the tip cleaner even, not the stand, that's the tip cleaner. So the tip cleaner I thought was quite important. I do, on the Jovi eye solder that we've been using before, I actually bought like a really cheap sort of tip cleaner from, I think it was AliExpress or eBay, one of the two. It's quite a nice little bit of kit for what it was, a little plastic container with a wire wool in it. Seemed to work really nicely. The wire wool now is completely knackered. It does want replacing. So I've not decided what I'm going to do with the Jovi yet, to be honest, the eye solder. I don't know whether to sort of keep it laying around the office because it's a fantastic iron, and we'll have some closing thoughts on the Jovi at some point. I don't know whether to do that or keep it for the 10,000 subs and give it away, or I haven't decided yet. So if you do have any ideas as to what we could do with it, then by all means drop it in a comment below and we'll have a think. So the next thing to go through then is the T245-A, this general purpose handle. Essentially a handle to the soldering iron. So I presume the end cap is just going to come out of here. Alrighty. And, oh yeah, okay. So we've got an instruction manual, as always. Very, very nice. We have a cartridge guide. Okay, I think I have a massive book that they actually sent me from Kaisertech with all these in. As you can see, all the various tools and equipment and everything else in there, so rather nice. Gentleman's literature for techies. Is this stuff? So this is the actual manual for the iron handle by the look. So let's just take a look in here. It's probably about how to change the tip and everything else, but I'm sure it's fairly self-explanatory. So yeah, you can get some nitrogen handles and things like that. That's not what this is. So yeah, how to change cartridge down there at the bottom. Look. And the actual changing cartridge using the stand. Rather nice. Okay, so that's that. So let's have a look at the handle itself, of course, because that's why you're here, isn't it? So it's wrapped in some cellophane, so I'm just going to go and take that apart. Okay. I do believe on unboxings you're supposed to do it on camera, aren't you? Because some people like the sound of the the stuff. I don't know. I've never done one of these before, so be gentle. Anyway, let's pull it out of there. Okay, so we have what looks like a handle, a grip here, so you can change the grip. The grips are really nice and spongy, so they're really comfortable. That'll be really nice to use. Indeed, looks like, yeah, it's a grip. So it's a spare grip, so that's nice, because of course, you know, the grips don't last forever. Certainly not the softer, spongy ones, you know, they can wear from time and things like that. So it's nice to have a spare, but they are really nice and spongy and soft. You know, you can proper squeeze that. And bearing in mind, it's got this little plastic guider in there. You can probably sort of see now. Look, it's really nice, really soft. So that's going to be nice and comfortable if you're going to be doing a lot of soldering. Just puts the plastic retainers back in there just so it keeps its shape. So the handle itself has got this nice little Velcro strap on it, just to keep the wire tidy. Take that off, little Velcro strap. Actually stays on the plug side, so that's the plug. That's the connector there, so that goes into the stand. And then you've got the actual iron itself, which is quite nice, it has to be said. It's got a fair old bit of length on it, as this T245-A. You can see it's got the grip there. That's where the iron tips will be inserted there. So yeah, nice knurled effect on the edge there. Nice quality feeling plastic. It's nice and sturdy. You know, the rubber on the lead feels really nice. You can tell it's quality stuff. This, you know, even the connector plastics and things feel a cut above most other things you'll use. Obviously it's got the really nice foam grip. What I will say is, you know, to actually hold it, it falls really nice in the hand. So, you know, I've not got particularly big hands. I wouldn't say particularly small. I'd say they're fairly average hands, and for that, these feels really nice. You know, it's like holding a pen in a way, which is exactly what it should feel. You know, sometimes you can find that the grips sort of make you feel a little bit too wide or a little bit hefty, or you know, so you kind of want to tip it. But this actually feels nice and light in the hand, and you know, like I say, just the way that the ergonomics of it, the handle and everything, and the way that it feels, and you can grip it, it just feels really nice. I can tell that's going to be really nice to use. So that's a T245-A handle. So of course, that's that one. So we'll move that one out of the way for now. Obviously, that's where your tips will go. And then we have this. Bloody hell, this is a bit bigger. This is an ADSD stand for the T210 DDE-245. So the handles themselves, the actual sort of soldering iron ones, if you like, have corresponding stands. So essentially, the nice thing about the JBC line of equipment is it's all completely modular, so you can customize it to how you want to use it. So you can buy the bits and pieces that you feel best suits your setup, and that's what's nice. It is expensive. It's not cheap. Like I said, this one was about 850 quid all in, with a couple of tips, and essentially. It's top quality. It's fantastic quality stuff. But in order to actually have a full setup, what you need a control unit, you need a stand, the iron that goes with the stand, or should I say the stand that goes with the iron, and obviously the tips. So essentially, your control unit plugs into the stand, and then the iron plugs into the stand. So this little stand here acts as like an intermediary between your iron and your tool. So that's why these are fairly expensive. Now, the actual stand on this particular item without the VAT was 125 quid. So this stand was 125 quid excluding the VAT. We have also had a look at the cartridge tips. So I've got a conical diagonal 0.8 mil tip that was £16 excluding the VAT, and the chisel tip was 5 by 1.7 mil. Is actually 20 quid excluding the VAT. The soldering iron handle we've just shown you there is a 50-watt general purpose handle with a soft grip. That was 50 quid excluding the VAT, so 60 quid with the VAT on it. So that's really nice. So let's have a look here then. So before we go delving any further into that box, this is the manual look. Stands, page 3 is from English. So the following items should be included. So we should have the stand itself, a cable holder, the stand cable which interfaces with the control unit, and the manual, which is just here, look. So, this will have all the various bits and pieces on how it needs to hook together, what various stands they offer, how the quick tip changer will work with this thing, assembly of the cable collectors, how to put it back together and everything like that. So let's take a look then. Let's go get this out of here. So it's got a fair old block of polystyrene foam on there. As you can see, just to keep everything nice and secure, make sure nothing gets damaged in shipment, because of course these stands are bloody expensive. And there we go. And rather like the tip cleaner, this thing is made of some incredibly sturdy metal. Like I say, it feels a lot like cast iron. It's got some heft to that, I tell you now. Bloody hell, that weighs a ton. The one thing I will say about this, is that when you come to sort of like clean your tools off and dock them and things like that, this thing, because at the end of the day, these things here are where you hold your tips. So these are tip holders, and then you push it down and secure them through these holes at the back. The one thing that I will say is that with the heft of this thing, you can imagine it's really easy to do this one-handed. You won't have to hold the station and do your things and your bits and pieces. You literally just be able to sort of like use the weight of the stand, because that's not going anywhere. I mean, I can fairly well try and pull that up, and it's not really moving anywhere. So it is really quite nice. So you've got this thing here. I believe this is the stand for the cable. So this has got like a cable clamp on the end of it. I believe you can loosen the nut and adjust it, so you can point it. Yeah, you can adjust it how you want, so you can have it pointing up, or you can have it facing further down the desk. You've got this little knob here, which allows you to adjust the angle that your soldering iron itself will sit at. So you just move it to where you want, and then lock it back into place. Same with the wire holder. So you can have it pointing straight up at the sky there, like we've got. That's probably how we'll have it. I might face it a little bit further towards me, to be honest, so that the wire's not dangling all the way up there. But yeah, so that looks really nice. Again, this has got a really sort of nice heft to it as we've gone through. So at the back there, you've got your connectors, so that goes to your tools. So the iron will plug into there, and that goes to the station or the control unit, as you can see there. So yep, this is an ADSD stand there. Really, really nice heavy duty piece of kit. It's got a little rubber mat down in there, so when you dock the tool in there, any sort of solder splashes or anything that comes off, it's just going to go onto that fairly hefty rubber surface there. And as I say, in the top there, this nice little polished, possibly aluminium or something like that there. You've got your little holes there for your tips, so you just push them in to dock them into the tool. So yeah, I mean, once we've had a play with this, ladies and gentlemen, in a couple of weeks' time, we'll go back over it and we'll show you in action and what we think of it and how we're getting on with it. I'm sure we're going to love it. I'm sure you'll come to love it in the videos as well, hopefully. So that's that. We've got the cable as well, so that's the plug into the iron and the stand. I believe the cable that's supplied with this is actually to go to the control unit, and then we've got the control unit itself. Wow, this is a big box. This is a big old box, is this one? So as you can see, we're gonna have to move you further back, so so you can get this one, I think, so you can get the effect. So there she be. So let's go and open this up then and have another look. So yeah, indeed, if we turn this sideways, you can see there, this is the DDE-2B 2-tool control unit, 230 volt model. This does come in a 4-tool unit, so you can interface up to 4 irons or soldering tweezers and stuff like that, all do the same tool. So let's have a look. So we've got a couple of things in here. We've got a manual 2-tool control unit, DDE-2B series, looks very nice. Got the cartridge guide and things like that, the same manual as we had before, with all the various bits and pieces in there. Looks really nice. Looks really cool. Look at all those bloody tips you can get. Wow. I have to say, I think we will be getting a few more tips and things like that thrown in. As you can see, they do some really nice stuff, don't they? Got like little preheater tables and things like that. That'd be quite useful, I think. Auto feed soldering stations. Obviously, soldering some sort of like cheaper end soldering station. Well, I say cheaper end, still a good couple of £100. The air stations, the JTSE series air stations. That's going to be the next thing I'm looking at. They do like a nice little nano rework station, which is all integrated nicely into that little base unit there. That's really quite nice. Obviously, you know, we've got the 2 and 4 touchscreen modules there. Desoldering modules that all interface with it. So it's so nice because, as you can see from that, you know, it's all just modular. You can literally just sort of put together your perfect station that just complements what you do. And it's not cheap, but hell, you know, you can't knock it really. It's fantastic quality kit. So that's the actual manual itself. So in here it tells us the packing list. We have the unit itself, power cord and the manual, and that's exactly what we've got here. So without further ado, I'm sure you know you can actually download these manuals from I believe Kaiser Tech does actually allow you to download the product manuals and user guides. So if I think on it, I will link them below. If not, there should be a link to the Kaiser Tech website in the description. Feel free to go and look everything up yourself if you need to. Like I say, if I don't think on to put the links in there. Mains power lead for the UK, 230 volts. Some more heavy duty polystyrene anti-static stuff going on in there. Now then, the bit we've all been waiting for. Oh, bloody hell, that's heavy. Wow, that has got some heft to it. Oh, shove it now. Wow. Okay, that that didn't want to come out of there then, but we've got it out finally. Okay, let's have a look at this. Wow. Well, there we go. So try and get you a bit of light on this, ladies and gentlemen, in a second. Try and adjust my tripod here. That's really nice. Okay, so what we've got here is, I'll try and get you some light if we can. There we go. So that's the 2-tool control unit, and as you can see there, we have menu button, info button, up, down, left, right. Okay, we've got the power switch on the front, which is really nice. That's the one thing that really sort of used to bug me about the Jovi, which is over there, was that the power switch was on the back. So you had to reach right over the desk to actually turn it on and off, which was a pain. It's nice that it's on the front. Of course, on the quick air station we have over there, the switch is on the front as well. So the switches are accessible on pretty much all the kit I have in here, apart from the bloody soldering iron, which used to be a pain. So it's nice that we can you know, toggle it on and off there at the front, and the switches are really nicely dampened. You know, the quality is amazing. The feel of everything, you know, the feel of these buttons. They've got a rubberized surface. They've got like a rubberized texture, but they all, the feel of how they push and things like that just is so nice. You know, everything is just so well put together. It's so well engineered. It's so well built that, you know, even like the feel of the casing, it's like it is. I want to say it's plastic, but it kind of feels anodized in a way. I think it is plastic, but it's like it's got a coating on it. It's like I don't know. It's quite a strange sort of feel. I think if you get a chance to have a play with one of these, I think you'll see what I mean. If you have a feel of it, it feels like metal to the touch, but it sounds like plastic. But either way. But the nice thing about these is when, as I was saying, the JTSE hot air stations, which is probably the next sort of big investment I want to make in the equipment I have in here, they're actually modular and they stack. So you can see like you've got these indentations in the top. Those are designed for the feet. For the other tool units or the desolder units and things like that you can get. And that's what's sort of designed to fit in there. So they all stack and they're all nice and secure. Obviously, it takes up a lot less room on your desk. I mean, you can sort of see there at the back we've got the Jovi, then we've got this quick air station. You can just about see the microscope here. The sort of air one set there. You've got the stand for the soldering iron there. You can imagine that, obviously, I mean, you can see the control units. I mean, the one for the quick it's not massive, but it does take up a fair old bit of room. It's fairly long. This is a lot shallower. And it's certainly probably twice as wide as what this is. So, you know, it's going to save me a fair old bit of room on the desk, I think, which will be really cool. So, it does feel really nice. So, let's see. So, we've got, I'm not entirely sure what these are for. Oh, okay. I get it. So, it's got like a ratchet. It's on a ratchet, if that makes sense. So you can actually just lift the unit out. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So essentially what you can do is you can angle this display up. So you've got like some little slots cut into the plastic groove here. When you lift this, this tab here sort of locks into the corresponding tab. So you can have it there. You can lift it up a bit further, all the way to the top setting, which is about there. And then when you want to reset it, you just pull the tab at the back, and then it all just folds flat back into there. That's a really nice sort of way of doing it as well. So we probably will leave it adjusted out slightly like that, because that's like, from where I'm sat here, that's like flat on as I'm looking at the display, which is quite cool. And around the side, you've got a USB port over there, just on the right hand side of the display even. That's for downloading data from the performance of the tools and things like that. These are indeed the ports for the control unit. So you've got a USB input there and the robot. So this does interface with the JBC software, so you can do bits and pieces with it. I haven't looked into that too much as yet. You've got a port there. It looks like an RJ45 connector, but it's actually for the soldering robot. So you can do automated soldering processes with this thing. The robot peripheral does look really cool, actually. If you could program that to replace to resolder HDMI port on a PlayStation, I'll tell you, I'm sold. Got a peripheral port, port 1 and port 2. These are the ports for the 2 tools that this unit supports. As you can see there, if you've got a 4-tool unit, you'd have port 3, port 4 at the top. So the 4-tool unit's a little bit more expensive than this. But to be honest, for what I use it for here, the most I'm probably going to use it for is either 2 irons. So one with a larger tip, one a larger chisel and a precision. I might possibly be tempted to buy a nano iron for like really small scale soldering if we do some here. So of course the question on everybody's lips now is going to be how much was this particular unit itself, and I can tell you now that the DDE-2B cost £450 excluding the VAT. So you've probably got about 90 quid VAT on top of that, a quick calculation at 20%. So that makes it, what, 540 quid, including the VAT here in the UK. And Yep, it's not cheap. It's not cheap, and nothing with JBC on the front of it is. But it's not cheap for a very good reason. So let's see if we can get this thing plugged in for you. And we'll see if we can show you what it looks like when it's all lit up. But that's pretty much it as far as the unboxing of it goes. So we've got everything out. We've had a look at everything on the desk. Initial impressions are that the build quality is absolutely fantastic on all these bits and pieces. You know, everything feels super high quality. It all weighs a ton, and you know, and that's half the battle, isn't it? You know, anybody who sort of used cheap soldering equipment will know. You know, it can be a little bit nasty, but this stuff is just it's the Rolls Royce of soldering equipment, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, it's not cheap, but it's not cheap for a reason. So I'm just going to jump off here and plug this thing in, and then we'll see if we can get a look at what it looks like on the desk. So bear with me, and I'll see you in a sec. For those of you who've just been watching the last part there on the tool control unit, probably be wondering where the hell the main's plugged in. As did I, because when I went to go plug the mains plug in, I thought, hang on, I've not seen where it plugs in yet. It actually plugs in underneath. There's a socket underneath, and it just plugs in there. So yes, so let's go see what it looks like when we fire it up. So this is the first time I've started it. Wow. They're going to get me one of these days, you know. Oh, it's a firework. What are they setting fireworks off for? In the middle of the day? You're not going to see much. But, yes. Anyway, so there we go. No tool sets, you can see there. It says at the bottom, tool plus cartridge are needed. So we're going to have to plug an iron in. It looks like what I think is the date and time on the top. We have the sound on, so let's go into the menus and have a look, see what we get. So we've got station, tools, counters, peripherals, graphics, and reset. So peripherals, I'm not entirely sure what constitutes peripherals. So it looks like the active icon turns orange, so we've worked that much out. Okay, so you can have like pedals, the desoldering module, fume extraction, stuff like that. So those are peripherals. So for both port 1 and port 2. So we can see here we have, yep, that's all cool. Lovely. So let's go back. So the station settings, so we can give it a name. So I probably should read the manual. Go into info. Indicates the station's name. Okay. Lovely. Can we set the name, or do we have to plug it into the computer to do that? I think we may have to plug it into the computer with the JBC software to set the name. But temperature units are in degrees. So you hit enter, yeah, okay. So we can either have degrees C or degrees Fahrenheit. Well, here in Europe and the UK, we use imperial units, so we're going to use Celsius. Maximum temperature you can set there. So maximum temperature is 400 degrees all the way down to 2. I believe you can probably customize that. Yeah, you can. You can put your own settings in there. Use menu to jump back out. Minimum temp 200C. So that helps save you tip. I believe when you dock the iron into the station stand, I think it actually reduces power, and then after so long actually puts the iron to sleep. So it just saves you tips. So 200 there is the default setting for the minimum temp. 400 is the setting for the maximum. Sound on, so you can turn that on and off if you think the sound of that's going to do your head in. Date and time. Ah, indeed, yeah, you can set that. So what are we on today? Today is the 11th. 11th of March, April, May, June. What am I on about? It's March. 2018. It's a Sunday here in the UK. And the date, sorry, and the time currently is 17:10. So that's 10 past 5 in the evening. 17. Probably be 17:11 by the time I get around it. 8. That beeping was from the Jovi, by the way. It wasn't the JBC. Okay, and you can see there, look, the time at the top there has reset. Robot off. That's robot on and off. Pin, so you can protect the settings menu with a pin number, so nobody can come in fiddling. You can reset the station. Info, Gives you stuff like the software version, temperature range, operating temperature, Esd-Safe. Gives you the standards the thing meets. Okay. Now we can go back. Do you want to save your changes? Yes, I do. Tools then. Okay. So you can set which tools are plugged into the ports. Now I think these actually self-set, but we'll just set that because we've got a T245 handle. Temperature adjustment, I think, is like some really fine tuning you can do to calibrate the tool. You can even sort of like, I think you can override the default settings there on which temperature. I probably should read the manual. Anyway, over the next couple of weeks, when I've actually taken time to read the manual and use the station, we'll go through what these settings actually do and what they mean and everything else. Temperature level set, sleep delay, sleep temperature. You see, this is what I'm talking about when you dock it. Hibernation, 10 minutes before it actually fully goes to sleep. Tool reset and back. So counters, so you can see how long each tool's been used, working hours, sleeping hours, hibernation hours, how long it's spent with no tool inserted, things like that. That's the data I believe you can plug a USB stick into the side here and download. Graphics shows you how the iron actually responds, so temperature, power over time, and so that's quite nice. So you can see just, you know, how the tool's performing and everything else, and then you've got the main reset. Counters there is the same thing as graphics, but it's just in a tabular data format rather than in a graph. So yeah, that's quite nice. So, well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. So this is the a really quick whirlwind tour of the JBC DDE-2B soldering control unit and the various T245-A accessories we have for this station. So this is going to be replacing our Jovi iSolder 40 setup, which has been absolutely fantastic, and we will do a review on the Jovi. The Jovi actually is what we've been using in pretty much, I think even it's been used in all the videos where we've been soldering. That's been the tool we've used, whether it's been BGA rework, whether it's been soldering HDMI ports, whether it's been soldering surface mount components on PlayStations, Xboxes, whatever it is. That's what we've been using on this channel so far, and I have to say it has been an absolute joy and a pleasure to use it. So much so I'm actually reluctant to get rid of it. I do actually maybe want to keep it around to do some other bits and pieces. For now, I'll probably sort of use it as like a secondary tool with like the bullet tip connector in there, and then I'll just use the JBC with a fine tip for now till I can get a second iron in here. I may get the second iron for this JBC setup. I may get that this month. I can't make my mind up. But yeah, then we'd have a two-tool setup, and then the Jovi can be put out to pasture. Now, there's nothing against the Jovi. What I will say for it is that it has been a fantastic piece of kit, and it served me really well, and I've had absolutely zero issues with it. You know, but at the end of the day, like I say, we've had a good year, and I've had some money to invest back in the business. And I have to say, you know, I've always wanted a JBC station because the quality and the results it gives you are second to none. And today we've realised a little bit of that ambition. So the Jovi itself has done absolutely nothing wrong to me, but I needed, like I say, a new wire wall for the thing. I needed a couple of new tips because these are getting a little bit tired now. And I just thought, you know, while we're there and we've got the money to invest in some new equipment, then we might as well take that, because there's nothing wrong with the Quick at the moment. The Quick is absolutely fantastic, the air station we're using, although that probably will go to JBC at some point in the next 12 months or so, all being well. But for now, you know, I can't knock it. And the Jovi itself has been a fantastic piece of equipment. I've had it now for about 3 years in my possession. I bought it from new for, I think it was about 140 quid I bought it for. And yeah, I won't hear a bad word say about it. Basically, it is a superb piece of kit. So yeah, for now, I don't know what we're going to do with it. I don't know whether to keep it around the shop in some sort of you know, capacity, or whether we should. It's too good an iron just to be sitting around collecting dust. If I'm not going to use it, then for the 10k subscribers, when we hit 10,000 subscribers, because hopefully we will, we're just over 8,000 at the moment. Hopefully at some point we'll hit 10k, and I might do a giveaway of the Jovi, my own personal Jovi, to you guys, if you want it. If you've got any other ideas, of course, then feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'll be interested to hear exactly what you think, what should happen with the Jovi. But yeah, this has been a whistle-stop tour of the new JBC setup we're going to be using. So I thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, I've never done an unboxing before, let alone one for YouTube on this channel, so be kind, be gentle with me. If I haven't done it quite right, then I apologise, and I will try better next time we do something like this. But yeah, for now, that's a whistle-stop tour of what we've got, and getting it out of the boxes and having a quick prod and a poke around with it. Like I say, we'll get this set up and I'll use it over the next couple of weeks. Whether it'll appear in a couple of videos between now and then, I don't know, it may do. If not, like I say, what we'll do a follow-up video anyway in a couple of weeks when we've got used to how it works and all the functions and the features and tools and everything. And once I'm happy with it, then obviously we'll go through it in a bit more detail as to just how good it actually is, and you know, and what sort of jobs it'll do and won't do. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Like I say, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've any questions at all, then feel free to drop them in the comments below or drop me a private message. Again, I'm also on Twitter. You can hook me up there at YTAndrewPaul. DM inbox there is open to everybody, so if you've got a message you'd like to send me personally, feel free to hit me up on there if you'd rather. If you have anything in need of repair yourself, whether it be a laptop, a Macbook, a video games console, PlayStation, an Xbox, a Wii U, Switch, whatever the hell it is you happen to have, and you're in the UK or the EU, then by all means feel free to hook me up. The email address below is my business email address. It's YTAndrewPaul@outlook.com. If you drop me a message on there, I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. I do request that email address is left purely for business purposes. So if you want a quote for a repair, or you want questions about how we work to get how you can get your machine to us and we can get it back to you and all this sort of stuff, then feel free to drop me a message there. Likewise, if it's just a general question on repair or a general question on the tool or something about the video, then please just feel free to drop it in the comments. The reason being, like I say, it is my business email address. I'm trying to get quotes to potential customers and answer customer questions and queries and things like that. So it can get a little bit tiresome if I've got a couple of 100 messages in there and they're all from YouTube videos asking about how to replace HDMI port on a PlayStation, when I've actually I've got loads of emails from customers and things like that and people wanting quotes. It can get a little bit weird and I can end up missing things, so I do appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen, if you can just abide by that quick law. If it's a question about a video or a process on the video, then please feel free to either Twitter, DM, or like I say on YouTube on the comment sections on the videos. If it is a question about a repair you'd like me to have a look at for you, get a quote to you for some components or a repair of a machine or whatever, then feel free to drop me an email at that address. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will love you and leave you. I've got some work to be doing, so I will see you on the next video. But for me and the JBC equipment, the T245 setup and the DDE-2B 230-volt unit here, I bid you a good day. The JBC station bids you a good day, and I hope, ladies and gentlemen, until the next video, you are all well and life treats you well. So for me, for now, it's bye-bye. Many thanks for watching then, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then why not check out these recommendations below. Also, please remember to comment, rate, and of course subscribe to the channel if you found this useful. We've plenty more content on there, and there's lots more to come.